Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Elephant in the Room podcast. Lately, I have been receiving so many requests for an English episode from mine and Arabic speakers, so here we are today, kicking off our English version. And the timing couldn't be better as the podcast just reached 2,000 listeners. So I deeply appreciate all the support. Thank you for listening. And let's dive into our special episode for today. Today, we have Mr. Samir with us. He is a transformation coach, mentor, and the founder of the Clarity Game. Welcome, Mr. Samir. It's such a pleasure having you, my very first guest, and I couldn't have asked for a better start. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much, Soha, for the opportunity and for uh, choosing me to be, your special guest for this new step that you're taking into English podcasting. I'm really, really happy for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure. So, Mr. Samir, before we dive in, how was your week been so far?
How was my meeting?
Your week and meetings also.
My, my week was great. It has always been great because I love conversations, and when I have meaningful conversations with people, so I've had a couple of good conversations the last week, which was exploring uh, leadership and exploring how to bring the clarity game into organizations. So I'm thankful, Alhamdulillah.
Yes, Alhamdulillah. Great to hear that. So, first of all, Mr. Samir, I would love for you to walk us through your really inspiring journey. I read about you online that the interesting part that you have started your career journey as a civil engineer, then eventually became a transformation coach. So, how did that shift happen?
So you've done a little bit of homework, I can see.
Yes, yes, sure.
uh, I started off as civil engineer, and I don't know if you are familiar with the Indian culture. Eh, with most Indian cultures, when you're growing up, at least before during my times, you had three options: either you are an engineer or a doctor,
Doctor.
or you are a nobody. you know so we had very limited choices of what we can choose for our careers, and I also did not know how to choose a career for myself initially. So because my parents and my friends and family and everyone thought I was intelligent, I don't know if that is the right word to use, but
The
they thought
clever one.
that I would be suited for engineering. I went for engineering, but very quickly I realized I don't want to do engineering. This is not what I want to do in my life. But the problem was, I know what I did not want to do. I did not know what I want to do. Right. And so from there it started. And after 1 year of working as a civil engineer, I stopped working as a civil engineer. And then I started trying out different career paths.
Yeah.
And I had so many different career paths, right from uh, becoming a photo framer. You see the photo frame behind you in the picture.
Yes.
So I used to create those photo frames and put the paintings together. So that was one job that I had. Then I was into selling handicrafts. I was into advertising. One time I wanted to become a farmer. And then so many different things. The last job I had was selling paratha and karak chai.
That was interesting, really. I read about you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I lived in China for 8 years. So that was also a part of my journey. And I think life was preparing me for this role that I am today, where I did not have clarity. And I was going through life without clarity. And I realized that the problem was I was looking for clarity from the outside, not looking for clarity from the inside. I was trying to please everyone and society and everything, but not looking inside. What are my strengths? What are my strengths? What are my values? And how can I use it for my own growth? And the day I discovered it, I decided coaching is what Allah
I
put
think,
me on earth for, I
yeah,
think we all have a purpose that Allah put us on earth for. There is a direction for us, and sometimes we know it, sometimes we don't. And the moment we decide and we know it, then every day, every week, every year becomes the most amazing life days of your life.
more joyful.
Yeah.
That makes me think about Mr. Samir, the role of mentorship and coaching in our life. Do you think, from experience, everyone should have a mentor in their career or their life, or it's something we just use to support us in a certain stage in our life? And I would love also to hear from your own experience. Have mentors played a big part during this transformation across paths, if I can say?
So we are born with mentors, right? The time we are born, we have mentors. Our parents play the role of being our mentors,
Yes,
and we take their advice very strongly for a long period of time until we reach a point where they are not able to mentor us, and they don't realize this because uh, they play the role of a mentor from a society perspective, but not from a professional perspective. Professional perspective, we need people who are aligned with what we want for ourselves. At a very young age, we don't know what we want. So our parents think they know what we want. And then we accept that as what we want because we feel our parents who have mentored us for the last 10, 12 years, 15 years know what is best for us. But the challenge with that is they are operating from their context, not our context.
exactly.
They think like them, they don't think like us. Only we can think like us. So every individual which should choose their mentor based on what they want in their life. And they should look for people. So, what is the difference between a mentor and a coach, according to you? Let's give me your version of the answer. What is a mentor and a coach?
I think for me, mentors is people like yourself, I think, who has a long experience or have maybe walked the path I'm looking into. We have same aligned perspective and values, but they have experience in this way, like they hold the roadmap for what I want to reach. And coach, maybe it's more practical thing. They allow you to scale your perspective more
And how will they help you scale your perspective?
with start questioning everything. Maybe
Right. See, which is what I'm doing now, right? I'm asking you questions.
yes,
What is happening is I'm getting to understand your mindset. And that is a coaching way of doing it. So instead of me giving directly answers to you, I'm seeing where are you coming from and then seeing where there is a gap. Without doing that, most people, what they do is they tend to give advice without understanding the context.
yes. And this advice, maybe it's based on experience. I can't know this person whole experience. I mean,
Yes.
we only know.
So I will give you my answer of what is a mentor and what is a coach.
Yes, please.
A mentor is someone who is, so first thing is you must know where you want to go. You want to go from, let us say, from Dubai to Sharjah. You must know the destination Sharjah before you sit in the car and start driving, correct?
Yes,
Now, if you want to reach Sharjah, then you must have a GPS to get there. If you don't have a GPS, then you must know someone who has gone there one time before and who know the direction, correct?
yes.
The role of a mentor is someone who has been to Sharjah before.
Mm-hmm.
The role of a coach is not someone who's gone to Sharjah before. The role of a coach is to help you decide whether you want to go to Sharjah, why you want to go to Sharjah. So, to help you identify your destination is what a coach does.
Well, yes, that mean what I understand from your side while choosing a mentor for yourself, you need to know about this person and to choose him based on where he is.
Yes. So you're looking to develop a skill that you have. And when you want to develop a skill that you have, then
Mhm.
you want to see someone who is better in that skill than you are. For example, you want to become more effective as a public speaker. Then you look for someone who is a public speaking mentor, meaning he has, for example, won many awards, or maybe he did not win awards. Maybe he is very comfortable speaking on stage, which means he's already two steps in front of you. He need not be a world champion of public
I
speaking,
I can follow him.
right? You can follow him, and then you will decide at a point where you feel you are at the same level of him or you are ahead of him. Then you will have to look for another mentor because now your skill is more than his. But coach is not like that. Coach is a very different thing from mentor. A coach is not someone who has reached that level of where you want to reach. He is only helping you process how you think, how you set goals, how you achieve things in your own life. So, very different roles mentor and coaches have.
Yeah. I like how you put that, and I will be remembering as a Sharjah and Dubai. You put it in rememberable way. So I want to ask you a different thing about this is a term where I came across a lot online, and I'm sure listeners will would love to hear your perspective on that. Even I find it you describing your programs as developing people first leaders, and I want to understand this better. What does people first really mean? Are we saying the organizations and leaders who adopt this approach, they're putting the business goals in the back seat, or it's kind of balancing thing?
It's a very good question, Soha. And I appreciate the thought you have put behind that question, in fact. Uh, are people, is business looking at the business only and not looking at people development? Is your question correct?
Yes,
So let us go back to Dubai to Sharjah.
yes. We are here today.
Oh, you're in Ruwais, right?
Yes, currently always.
Dubai to Ruwais. Forget Sharjah.
Yes, long way.
So imagine you have set the goal for the people, for me and for five other people or 10 other people to reach Ruwais.
Yes,
Now, as a business, if your goal is to reach Ruwais, all these people, that is a strategic direction that you set for the team. You all
okay,
must reach Ruwais. How you reach there is up to these people. Each one will have their own strategy. Some will take a bus, some will take a train, some will do carpooling, some will walk and go. It doesn't matter, right? But all roads will reach Ruwais somehow. Now, as an organization, it is very important to have the destination, which is the business goal, which is to have Ruwais as the final destination.
okay.
But while we are focused on that, you might tell people, car is the best way. Just take the car. But somebody will say, but I like to walk. I don't care. Take the car. We have car, come by car. Or we have the bus, come by bus. So it depends on, do you want to develop the best in people? So if someone is saying, I want to walk, you'll ask a question then. Why do you want to walk? What is the skill you're looking to develop? You'll say, maybe I'm preparing for a marathon. So I'm taking this question in a roundabout way, but the whole point is this. What is a people first leader is someone who is looking to develop the people around them. So to answer your question, an organization will have managers that they will appoint within an organization who have to execute tasks. These managers can behave like managers or they can behave like leaders. What is the difference between a manager and a leader, according to you?
For me, leader is someone who may be doing or modeling what he wants from the people, and the manager is someone more practical, just executing work and projects. without like maybe taking consideration to the human part.
Hmm. The leader. And the leader? And the leader?
The leader is maybe for me is someone who is more aware how people operates and perform.
What is the difference?
The difference between them, leader is someone who may be emotionally intelligent, who can lead people on their to let them do their best, and
MashaAllah.
manager may be someone who is struggling in this area.
Brilliantly said. Brilliantly answered. I have a very simple way of saying it. It is a little bit more simplified, but exactly what you said. A manager is someone who is focused on process.
Process, yes.
Leader is someone who's focused on people.
Process and people.
Process and people. That's it. Right? Every leader is a manager, but not every manager is the leader.
That's the difference.
Right? So being a people first person means you're emotionally intelligent, like you said. You're taking care of the people. And when you take care of the people, you will reduce attrition. You'll reduce people feeling frustrated. You know why people quit their job?
What do you think? Mostly from your experience.
So, mostly from my experience, it is because they're quitting their managers and not their leaders.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a manager, he is focused on process, which means he's continuously focused on, are you doing the job? Why you didn't do the job? Why you didn't do this? Why you didn't do that? And he might be doing all of this, but he's going through burnout because his manager is only caring about the process and not who he is.
Mm-hmm.
When people start caring about them, if someone is caring about you, no matter how much pressure is there, you will not quit, right? Because you really understand that this person is doing this for my improvement, for my betterment. So this is what being a people first leader means. If the people under you must feel like they are being cared for and they can grow under your care, then the person is being a people first leader.
Yes. And okay, building on that, who do you think bring more? Uh, we know a lot of organizations care about numbers and goals. So, who bring the better results, the leader or the manager?
Uh, both,
Both.
both will bring, but the difference is managers will bring quick short-term results.
Mm-hmm.
Leaders will bring great long-term results.
Lasting one.
It will be lasting because these people will bring results in the short term, but these short term results, are they sustainable? Will these people stay in the organization? Will the people under him continue working there? There's no guarantee.
Yeah. Yeah. Mr. Samir, I want to touch on something important when it comes to the workplace. Do you think having a career coach or learning and development department in organizations is a necessary thing or more of nice to have option? You know, organizations these days are focusing mainly on business numbers and believe having a general HR functioning is enough to cover people needs. What's your take on that?
So when I discovered the world of coaching, I discovered the world of coaching in 2016, and I was shocked. I was shocked that there would be people who would pay me money for asking questions
Yes.
for coaching. No, I was like, wow, people pay money for this and also a lot of money. And then since 2016, I've been coaching. But till this date, even today, every single day, I'm learning something new. And when I'm learning something new, I'm growing, I'm improving, I'm stretching myself. So, if an organization does not invest in learning and development, or in coaching, or in transformations, what they will have is a group of people who are operating at a level that is the same as maybe 2 years or 3 years before.
Stuck there.
They're stuck there, which means the business will be stuck, which means the business will not grow. If you want the business to continuously grow, it means your people have to continuously grow in their thinking. Just giving them higher targets does not mean the business is growing.
Yes. And it's that what you do in your program supporting organization with the clarity game.
Yes. So, the whole foundation of the clarity game or any learning intervention is to expand the awareness of your leaders and managers. Unless and until you're not expanding the awareness, they will always operate at the ceiling at which they have. You can only operate with the information that you have and the awareness that you have. Unless and until you don't have more awareness, you will not have more.
Results. And maybe this is connected to the same topic when it comes, Mr. Samir, to the emotional intelligence. It's a big topic in leadership today. What's your perspective like if leaders are asking how we start building this skill?
So, as leaders, the foundation of emotional intelligence is to be able to label your emotions, is to know what you're feeling right now. So, for example, what are you feeling right now during this interview?
Yeah, feeling great. This has been a challenge, so I'm doing it, feeling great.
Okay. What is making you feel great about this?
I used to delay this a lot. Even the last time I told you I wanted to be in person, but I decided no, that's just an excuse is more to delay. So me taking the decision to start it.
Okay. And what were you feeling? What was the reason you were feeling fear before you started this?
Maybe I was doing excuses like just to be perfect, to be in person, to be to do it in the best way, to start with home.
So, this conversation that we are having now is an example of how you can process what you're feeling. And when you're open to exploring what you're feeling, you will bring more emotional awareness for yourself. And this is true for all leaders. Most leaders, they do not have this conversation around what they are feeling. They have conversations about what they're doing or what they're thinking. So, which means they operate from their head and not from their heart. If they have to speak about what they're feeling, they feel vulnerable. They feel challenged. They feel, how will other people see me? They will see me as weak. But actually, you have to be very strong to be able to speak about your emotions. So, Soha, I can see you are a very strong person for having the capacity to admit on a podcast that you are feeling scared. And that is because you have your emotional intelligence in place. You are comfortable with who you are, right? So the moment you're comfortable with who you are, then you can help those who are not yet comfortable. And that means as an emotional leader, emotional intelligent leader, you will be able to be of better service to others. But first you have to be better service to yourself.
Yes, I see a lot of people from experience struggle with that. But, like, let me ask from their perspective, how do we start? Like in the workplace, it's not somewhere to be safe, to be vulnerable, maybe. How to start that?
So there are different ways that they can do it. Uh, but first, the organization must have the intent. The organization or the leader must have the intent that I want to create a safe space for my team members. The CEO must have this objective. The CEO must be the one who is willing to be vulnerable in the first place. Right? He should be able to express himself, not talk about his problems and challenges like that, but to be able to wear his heart on his sleeve and talk where when he's feeling emotional, he express emotions. When he's feeling down and sad about something that is, for example, happening in Gaza or something that is happening in Dubai or the US, he should be able to express it. If the business is struggling, he should be able to express what his challenges are. And then he should create the safe environment and space, and it has to become a part of the organization's intent to be a safe space for people to open up and share. Most organizations don't share or talk because they feel it'll threaten their jobs, their positions, their role, and they will probably have to
Exactly.
manage.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, not all organizations are encouraging this type of, it takes a lot of courage to express this type of things.
Yeah. So this is something that is already built into the clarity game, for example, right? In the clarity game, what happens is when you come together and you play the game together, what happens is you are creating connections and building trust with each other. So an organization can do town halls, for example, where you can say, every month let us do one town hall where we will sit and we will talk about our challenges. Uh, the clarity game can be another option where people come together and they play. Coaching can be another one where they can exercise coaching within their organization. And once people feel comfortable, then slowly they're able to express themselves even more because they have already processed in their mind these emotions. If you don't go through coaching for your emotions, for your feelings, I feel it is like a big bowl of spaghetti in your head where everything is, intertwined and mixed and everything.
Wired, yes.
But the moment you're able to separate each emotion and talk about each problem and talk about each thing and remove each spaghetti and make it separate and put it on the plate one by one separately, then you're able to look at it and you don't feel confusion anymore. It becomes so clear for you that you are able to understand where you come from, what your challenges are, how to deal with it.
Be present, maybe also. Focus on the moment.
It is something that a lot of people don't exercise because of which their emotional intelligence is not very high, right? Because they're either living in the past or in the future. They're worried about what will happen if they do something because of which they don't speak and because of their past experiences of what has happened in the past. Oh, he spoke like this and that happened to him. So I don't want it to happen to myself. So
Protect myself.
so it becomes your way of protecting yourself, right? You're right. We are hardwired to protect ourselves. As individuals, everything that we do is to protect ourselves. Everything. As a child, as a grown up, in organizations, as managers, as leaders, as CEOs, we're always taking decisions in our life to protect ourselves. So, how can we be stronger so that we can take on more challenges? That is the journey that managers go through before they become more effective as leaders.
Yes, fair enough. Okay, and there is, Mr. Samir, something I realized you talk about at workplace and in your page, but I would love to dig deeper when it comes to kindness. What does kindness really mean in the workplace? Like, just I'm not talking about the trendy word that everyone is using, but I want to know what does a really kind leader looks like in workplace, in actions.
So, you're asking such amazing questions, I must say. It touches the core of my work and the core of how leadership should be. Kindness. Oh my gosh. Kindness. Someone can be kind when you accept everything in life is for you. When you accept, when you have a spiritual path, when you have a journey ahead of you, when you understand that you cannot succeed alone, you need people around you, and your growth is really when you help others grow. Kindness is about, gosh, I've never thought about this, and you're making me think now. Uh, Kindness is really about being of service to others, being of value to others, acknowledging and understanding that everybody has their own struggles and challenges, and embracing these things and not judging anyone, and coming from a space of love, coming from a space of gratitude. Kindness. Wow. What is the word kindness? Let me.
Research the word.
It means the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. Interesting. Uh, being generous, what does it mean in leadership? It means being generous with your time, with your effort, with your knowledge, with your skills. In a lot of organizations, what we see is people don't share so much because they feel if I share and if the person becomes better than me, I will lose my job, he will take my job. So they want to protect themselves. Generosity for me is truly believing that my rizq is from Allah and no one can take this away from me. And no matter how much I share and give, what I'm giving is what Allah has given me and asked me to distribute. So it can be my knowledge, it can be my wisdom, it can be my experience, it can be all of those things. So being a kind leader is being someone who's truly connected to God, I feel, connected to spirituality if you don't practice religion, and to be of service to others, to realize that we are here on this earth to be in service of others. And if we believe that every single day and every single moment, then we will not look at our positions of leadership or management as an opportunity to abuse power. We will not take advantage of our seat and try to harass someone, to be unkind to someone, to be less than generous to someone. That is probably a long winded answer for you. I don't know if that answers.
No, no, that's the great answer. Like you pointed to a lot of things where we take positions and work, we forget, and a lot of us maybe think of the payment and the position and keeping and go through this fear you talk about of sharing. But I think knowledge and everything we have is to share and to serve others.
I'm interested to hear what is your answer for the same question.
I think you said a lot about what I think, but kindness, I think, for me is to understand people, like being at work while we have all these deadlines and goals and work to be done, sitting and trying to understand someone. I think something is hard for a lot to do. And it comes basically for me from the self awareness we talk about and all the emotional intelligence stuff. So if you have the clarity to be here, then only you are able to understand others.
To genuinely care about somebody else, where they're
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. So it's all connected together.
And what do you think stops people from being kind leaders?
For me, being kind and being always the great person in workplace, what stop people is fear. Always fear of being maybe misused, fear of not having the full perspective of someone else, maybe sometimes expecting from others to start doing the good things. So it's all about fear for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I also think it feels like when someone is in a leadership role, for them, they feel they must have all the answers. So they are in a position of authority and power, and they must exercise it. And sometimes that stops them from kindness. But also, I feel sometimes they have seen the wrong model of kindness. I mean, the wrong model of leadership. Sometimes they've seen leadership maybe at home, maybe in their families, maybe in their previous job. They've seen leaders who or managers who get work done without being kind. They don't focus on kindness. They focus on getting the work done. They say. I don't have time to be kind to you. I just want to finish this because there is so much KPI and there is all these results that we
Maybe
working
we
on.
can say this is their way of expressing kindness.
Maybe they have not looked at the dictionary meaning of kindness and they think this is the way of leadership, not that this is the way of kindness.
Mm-hmm.
Because first they have to have a definition for what is kindness.
Yes.
They cannot simply say this is my way of kindness without understanding what the word kindness means, whether as parents, whether as managers, whether as leaders. Kindness, the word itself has a meaning. They have to first define before saying this is my way of kindness.
Yeah, because like we have sometimes the leaders or managers, they think or they tell you that helping you done this work, it's way of my. They think it's a way of kindness to you, like showing you how to just to work and not focusing on the human side of you.
Hmm. Uh, I would not put that under kindness. I would put that under effectiveness.
Effectiveness.
Right. So there are different adjectives that we can use. We cannot plug everything into the word kindness and say, if
Yes.
you're achieving your goals, then I'm being kind to you.
Yes.
This is
That
complete.
that's the reason I have asked you your definition, because you see, everyone is posting their online kindness on their own definition.
Yeah.
So you have answered very well what do kindness mean in the workplace.
So what did you take away from what I said? I'm curious.
You remembered me about the topic of serving in this planet. It's not just about work and being robotic, executing tasks. So I took a very deep meaning, remembering, there is something people always forget, that we spend in work 8 to 10 hours daily. So it's not something easy to perform as a robotics. We can be, we can be human there.
Yeah. 80% of our life is spent at work. 70 to 80% of our life, right? And if that the quality of that life does not include kindness, it's so
It
sad.
matters, yes. Uh, okay. We went for very long, great answer. Thank you. And since you are here on the Elephant on the Room podcast, let me throw this at you. What's the biggest elephant in the room you notice while coaching organizations? And why do you think organizations avoid addressing it earlier?
The biggest elephant in the room is giving advice.
Mm-hmm.
Leaders love to give advice. Leaders think of themselves as experts, uh, and leaders think that it is their job description to give advice to others. Uh, and when they give advice, they're not being leaders, they're being managers. To be a leader, like you said, you have to be kind. To be kind, you have to be empathetic. To be empathetic, you have to understand where they're coming from. To understand where someone is coming from, you have to ask questions. But today's leaders don't have the patience to ask questions or ask great questions. They are
Mm-hmm.
in a rush to give advice and then move on to the next task.
Exactly.
And the elephant in the room is really uh, the damage that giving advice continuously does to team morale, team performance, team productivity, team engagement, all of.
Limitation, maybe also.
Pardon?
Limit them, maybe also.
It
Limit the
limits them,
team.
right? Because when you give advice, you're putting a ceiling on what they can do.
Yes. They
And
can't
you
go above.
and you're also putting a ceiling on their own thinking capacity. When you ask questions and they have to come up with the answer, you're expanding their awareness, you're expanding how they think and perform. You're telling them, I don't have the answer, figure out the answer and come to me. Or you're coaching them and you're helping them discover their own answers. What happens? These these people, they start developing as better humans. And therefore the organization will grow. Organizations are skeptical or holding back themselves from doing these things because of exactly what you said earlier. They focus more on short term results and quick wins. They are not large organizations. For example, organizations which are listed on the stock market, they cannot think like this. They have to think about the the sustainability of the business, the return to the shareholders and investors. So they have a bigger responsibility outside when it is a listed company. And therefore, they have learning and development departments within their organizations. It's mostly the small organizations who feel we don't have to do this. It is not required to develop people. If this person is not developing, we will remove him and find somebody else.
And they stuck into this cycle.
And they get stuck into the cycle and they don't realize that they're letting go of someone who has a lot of experience in their business, in their context, in their product. That experience, if you take it for many, many years, it's going to add tremendous amount of value uh, down the road.
Yes,
Do you agree?
100%. Okay. أكيد even I response in Arabic because I was focused to. So we usually here in Elephant of the Room, I end my episodes with a quote which is related to the same topic we talked about. So to close on an inspiring note, what favorite quote of yours about work and leadership?
So, one of my favorite quotes, which ties up with everything that we have said, is clarity cannot be given, it must be discovered. You cannot give someone clarity. You can give them information, you can share your experience, you can give them advice, you can give them books to read, you can give them videos to watch, but you cannot give someone clarity. You cannot give your child clarity, you cannot give your employees clarity, you cannot give your managers clarity. You can only give them information. They must discover it on their own. And this is
In all life aspects, all everywhere.
everywhere. Clarity is something that you discover based on how you look at things, depending on how much information you have. So, if you have five data points,
Yes.
the data points, unless and until you don't connect it, it doesn't become clarity for you. It just becomes information that is in different places. So, a good example is a lot of people, they know they must do exercise every day. It is good for their health,
Yes, we all know.
right? But they don't have the clarity that it has to be done yet, how it will affect them. So, the information is there, but the clarity, it has not been transformed into clarity for themselves. Because if you have the clarity, then it is impossible for you not to do exercise. So, this is a difference between knowledge and wisdom. So, I believe it is one of the most important insights that I've had in my life, which is clarity cannot be given, it must be discovered. And every human being must discover clarity on their own. So, to connect back to your first question, also, should people have mentors and coaches? The objective of having mentors and coaches is to gain from their wisdom, from their perspective. So, mentor will give you their experience, coaches will give you different perspective because they'll ask you questions from different angles. Just like what you're doing now, right? You're asking so many different questions. So, a coach will ask questions which will help me process, and therefore I will have more clarity. So, today I am walking away from this interview saying to myself, I want to think more about what kindness and leadership is about, right? I want to explore more of that in my own thinking so that I have more clarity. Your listeners will not have clarity listening to your podcast, they will have information. Clarity they will have when they connect it to their own experience. So, my suggestion to everyone who is listening to all your interviews and all your podcasts and any podcast is to ask, how does this connect to my journey? How is this relevant for my information, for my experience in life? And unless and until they don't make that connection, they will not see what is the clarity in the information that we have shared. So, to wrap it up once again, clarity is not something that can be given, it must be discovered.
Discovered. Yes, that's great. Okay, time's running and I don't want to take much of your time. This was a very meaningful conversation, Mr. Samir. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, and I'm sure all the listeners will walk away with a lot of practical insights.
Thank you very much, Suha. And I'm grateful for you having had me as your guest today and for asking thoughtful questions that made even me reflect and ask about my own journeys. So I appreciate you.
The pleasure is mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. You will find all the details and links to connect with our guest today in the episode description in all platforms. I truly appreciate your time, and I promise to keep bringing you valuable voices and meaningful conversations. Until next time, take care.